Okay, we're going to be simplifying rational expressions, and just to think about, first of all, a rational expression is an expression that is written in the form of a ratio or a fraction. So thinking back what you learned to simplify fractions, you would always cancel off factors. I know that I can rewrite 2 as 1 times 2, and I can rewrite 8 as 4 times 2, and those cancel. And that would give me 1/4. The same thing here, I can cancel out what's common. And that's 4 times x over x times x, or x squared. Those cancel out and give me 4 over x. Okay, it's important to remember that we cancel factors and not terms. This right here is a factor, and these are two terms that add up to that factor. So I cannot cancel those out right there. Those are just terms. Right here, this is x plus 8, and that is a factor, and x minus 2, and that's a factor, so I cannot cancel anything there. On E, what we're going to have to do is look at the domain of rational expressions, and we're going to remember what number that we can't divide by. So in the bottom right here, I cannot have anything equal to 0 in the denominator. So the first thing I'm going to look at is 2x minus 2. What causes that to be a 0? So I add 2 to both sides and divide by 2. So when x is 1, then I know I have a 0 in the denominator. So once I factor out what's common, so I'm going to factor out the 2, that's x minus 1. Those two cancel out, leaving me 1 over x minus 1, but I'm going to remember that x cannot equal 1. And that would be simplified and what cannot happen in the denominator. Right here, I can simplify by canceling those out because those are factors that are common. Leaves me a 1. In the denominator, I have x plus 2 and x minus 1. And remember that x cannot equal 0. So what causes each one of those to create a 0 in the denominator? When x is negative 3, when x is negative 2, and when x is 1. So it cannot equal those numbers. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to we have rational expressions, and we're going to factor them to simplify. So we need to factor numerator and denominator. So the first thing I'm going to do is factor here, factors of 10 with a difference of 3. That's x plus 5 and x minus 2. In the denominator, factors of 15 that add up to 8. And that's x plus 5 and x plus 3. Those two are alike, so my answer is x minus 2 over x plus 3. Remember, though, that x cannot equal whatever causes this to be a 0 in the denominator. So x cannot equal negative 5 or negative 3. And that's our solution. On number 2, we're going to factor, and the first thing I want to do is find the greatest common factor in the numerator and take that out. And then the denominator, I'm going to take out an x as well. Then I'm going to factor. Before I factor, I already know that those two cancel each other out because anything divided by itself is 1, so I can cancel those out. Then I have my factors of 48 that add up to negative 16, and that's going to be x minus 12 and x minus 4. The denominator, factors of 36 with a difference of 9, x minus 12 and x plus 3. Again, anything divided by itself is 1, leaving me x minus 4 over x plus 3. And remember, x cannot equal, it can't equal 0, it can't equal 12, that creates a 0, or negative 3. And that's our answer. All right, one more for part 1. We have problem number 3. In the numerator, I have x plus 1, and that can't be factored anymore. Denominator is factors of 8 that add up to 6. And that's going to be x plus 2 times x plus 4. I can cancel out anything. That's anything divided by itself is 1. So remember, you still have a 1 there. So that's 1 over x plus 4. And remember, x cannot equal negative 2 or negative 4 because that creates a 0 in the denominator.